And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com, www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Go to the website. They will deliver right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, or head down and see Shane and our good friends in Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner. Save yourself 15% off of the Galactic goodness. Welcome back, Aaron.
Yo.
How was your weekend?
Better than theirs.
Not good for them.
Nope, not good for them.
I mean, Friday, you and I had as many hits as the guys not named Ellie De La Cruz. And that didn't get much better today. I think they had, what, 2 today?
It was 11. It was 11-1 today.
Yeah.
Woof.
Not great, Bob. Not great. But that's a topic for Tuesday. We're working on a big show for tomorrow night on the BBP. And then 513 day next Monday, keep open. You might be seeing a lot of us. We might have a little something in the works for 513 day. I'm just saying. Baseball. Jordan Bischel and the Bearcats win 2 out of 3 against West Virginia, who came in, I believe, 3rd in the Big 12 standings coming into the day.
That's right. Yeah.
I think they were 3rd, and Oklahoma was 2nd. Oklahoma will be in not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. Only 2 weekend series left. This team is pretty clearly playing their best baseball of the year. They have not lost a weekend series at home all season. Aaron, this guy might have whatever it is. He might have it because this is makeshift. This is working with something that wasn't working and putting it together in pretty quick order. And they score runs. They're aggressive on the base pass. They're fun to watch. The pitching has grown leaps and bounds. They might be cooking with a little gas here with Jordan Bischel and the baseball program.
Well, I mean, we talked about, when we talk about baseball, we've talked about the fact that pitching was the bugaboo, but this team has overcome that with scoring a ton of runs. In the one game that they lost this weekend, it was a close one, at least. They lose the opener 5-4. And after that, they just kind of went off as they 10-4 and 8-2 to finish off the series. And pitching, when the bats are going, it's a little easier for the pitchers to play loose. And I like to think that that's what you saw this weekend.
Yeah, and I think it has to be noted. Look, we talked in the beginning of the season that the pitching was going to be something that they had to overcome, which at times they have. But if you're paying attention, the pitching has gotten exponentially better throughout the season. These are not college baseball. You can see these 15 to 14 games, and you know they have not been perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But I do think you have seen, if you're paying attention, you have seen progress from the pitching staff. And what we're not seeing a lot of, that you see a lot in college baseball, is you get into like the 6th or 7th inning, and then things can fall apart, and all of a sudden you give up 6 runs in an inning and you're out of it. You're not seeing a lot of that with this bunch.
No, and I'm looking at least at the final score lines here, and it doesn't look like they've let more than 10 runs go. Outside of the Ohio State game, they haven't let more than 10 runs go since Louisville in March 26th. Outside of the 10 runs against Oklahoma State in one of the games.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened occasionally.
And again, that Ohio State game, and that series, or that game against Louisville, is all the way back March 26th. So if you're looking March 26th, March 26th, they've given up. Yeah, they've given up more than 10 runs, 10 or more, three times.
Yeah,
Total.
which for a team that has quote unquote a shaky pitching staff, that's pretty damn good.
I would like to think that this staff is probably more than happy with what they've been able to do pitching wise, and just even more so with the bats. My goodness, these bats have been phenomenal.
Yeah. You wanted to get to a couple things, so
I did. The first one of those things would be came on Friday in a Friday news dump, but South Carolina court orders the ACC to provide Clemson with ESPN agreements. They are going to make sure that those agreements stay behind closed doors, as they had a condition that they would be able to circumvent the Freedom of Information Act, and they would not be able to request those documents from South Carolina, despite the Freedom of Information Act, because they are technically not South Carolina's documents. They are, or Clemson's documents rather. They are ESPN's documents. It's just funny that what they're trying to sue ESPN for, in my opinion, as they're claiming that the $140 million exit fee out of the grant of rights is unconscionably high and unenforceable, and saying that the grant of rights only applies if Clemson is part of the conference, and that if a school exits the league, it retains control of the media rights to its home sporting events. That's not how any of this works.
It's not, no. And look, you signed the thing. Your signature, your ink is on the paper.
You were super excited. You were super excited that you were going to be the highest paid conference when you signed this paperwork.
Right.
And now you want out. Weird how that all works.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was on the Big 12 Insider show about a week and a half ago, and the guy that hosted it played college football, really good dude, connected in the industry. He is convinced that this is going down by the end of the summer, that the ACC will lose Florida State and Clemson and whatever.
And you might, but I'm not sure that it's not going to come without still losing your rights to your media.
Yeah, but they could essentially just, well, there's a lot of ways that this could go, and I don't want to get into my speculation on that part, including private equity, to say, here is that money that you're going to be losing out on.
Be careful who you get in bed with.
Nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares. Well, the people that need the money don't care. That's what I'm getting at. People care, but the people that are on the receiving end of that money do not care.
So a reporter getting chopped up by a bone saw, but
hey, did the check cash? We're good. That's how sports are now. Like that, make no mistake. He is convinced that this is over sooner than later, and that there will probably be, because of the landscape, there will be a leftover group. Like the ACC will not have happen what happened to the Pac-12.
Sure,
there's going to be schools left over that will maintain an ACC, but it will just be a completely different looking version of the ACC without a lot of the star power at the top. But I don't know. Again, all of all of the things that we have heard about that grant of rights are, they did it exactly how you should do it. It's basically written on a cocktail napkin. There's not a bunch of legalese and terminology that you can backdoor your way out of. It is, here is the price of doing business. Sign here.
I'm just curious that if there is still an ACC and some of these top schools manage to get out, paying their way out, how quickly ESPN decides, we don't like this contract anymore. Let's renegotiate.
Well, that'll be the thing, is they'll have if Florida State and Clemson leave, they'll go straight back to the negotiating table.
I know
it ain't gonna be pretty. Like, it ain't gonna be pretty. So We'll see. Again, I don't know that I believe Brian in how fast he thinks this is going to happen, but he's pretty adamant that he feels like it's coming this summer. And we have seen this time of year be the window for this stuff to happen. So I'm not ruling it out.
The other thing I wanted to touch on this Sunday, as we are scraping the bottom of the barrel, Joe Lunardi put out his way too early bracketology, and just, I guess, notable teams that Cincinnati will face as I'm looking through just some of the different things here. Last four buys, no teams that Cincinnati would have to worry about. First four out, one of them mentioned is BYU. Next four out, San Francisco, I guess, one of them on there. Kansas State is on that list as well.
Yeah.
As we go through the actual bracketology, don't
forget, you got to add Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State to the list.
Yep.
I don't know if they're in any of those spots or not, but
Kansas a 1 seed, Xavier a 5 seed,
Cincinnati a 6.
Well, we'll get there. Arizona, it's got the brackets, actual brackets.
Okay.
I'm still in the top left. Arizona a 3 seed, Dayton a 10 seed. Let's see. I'm sure you'd like to know that UConn a 1 seed. Dave would like to know Tennessee a 4 seed. Then you have Houston a 1 seed. You have Indiana a 4 seed. Interesting. Cincinnati a 6 seed. You got Texas. Oh, they're not part of us anymore. Just got used to that one. Iowa State a 2 seed. The Big 12 gets 7 in, and that's where we're at.
That seems low.
Yeah, the Big 10 got 12. The SEC got 10. Big 10 got 12. SEC 10. Big 12 got 7. ACC 7. Big East 5. And the what is it? West Coast Conference 2. So
UC is a 6 seed. It's a good sign. I mean, it's a sign that there is respect for this roster, respect for what Wes is working to build and has kind of put together. Obviously it's bracketology in May. Like
I miss Baylor a 3 seed.
Yeah.
Texas Tech a 9 seed. I miss both of those.
So is that still 7, or does that bump it up?
Yeah, no, they did have a total at the
7.
bottom. Okay. Conference breakdown gave me 7.
That means that's what, 9 not making it, 7 making it, and 9 not. You also have to take into account. You have to take into account, though, the national perspective of the Big 12 took a little bit of a hit in this year's tournament, like
as it should have.
Yeah, like they didn't win enough. So, rightfully so. But I still think you're looking at 8, 9 teams.
12. What's the Big 10 at next year? 20 teams?
I think so, yeah.
And you got 12 of the 20 making it? Come on.
Yeah. Out of that league?
And
whatever.
Once you start to see what the actual records look like, you might have teams that are sub 500 if you're talking conferences that big.
But Aaron, the reality is this is another reason why this season is so important for Wes. Because once you start to get to that place, right? Like we'll use the team across town for an example. They lost their 2 leading scorers, half the roster transferred, but they did make some solid portal additions. And you have Sean Miller as your coach, and you have a history, you have a track record. So you're going to see them show up in preseason top 25s. You're going to see them show up in too early bracketology type things. That's the respect Wes is trying to earn, trying to get to. Because if you look at that list, there's a bunch of schools on that list that you look at and go, seriously? But it's because they are regulars. Yeah.
I guess I'm okay with Wes Miller not being caught up in some of the same sentences as Sean Miller, because what do we know about Sean Miller is he'll do anything to win.
Look, anymore, Aaron, I don't care. It's the NCAA. There are no rules. Do anything to win. Like, sure, if you want to not like when there were rules, the guys that ignored those rules, I understand that. Now there's no rules. Like, this is the Wild Wild West. Everybody's just got guns out here pointed at each other. Did you see the rumors today on the big man that transferred from Rutgers, committed to Alabama today, Cliff Omignori or whatever?
I only saw that it happened. I didn't see any of the rumors.
There's rumors that there are teams out there not named Alabama that offered him $2 million in NIL.
Before he was in the portal or after?
No, like leading up to him committing to Alabama. Probably before, too. But recently, there were schools that were offering him up to $2 million to get into the portal.
That's what happens when you have a budget and you can't figure out how to spend that budget.
Right.
If you don't spend that budget, it's not coming back to you.
Well, now that's the thing, though, in NIL. I would assume it just rolls over. Like, maybe you get the money is there. You get to keep it and spend it on something else.
Maybe.
For now, until they go in-house, and then the school is in charge of that stuff.
Or you just don't donate that money until you know that it's going somewhere, and maybe it's not put in the piggy bank until you have somebody to sign. If I don't know, if I'm donating into the NIL that kind of money, I'm probably waiting to see if it's worth my while.
I'm dealing with a wild deal on text message right here. There was a kid that got offered. I'm not going to name names because I'm just going to tell the story. It's a kid that got offered. I guess Dave saw it somehow, or somebody put it on the board. Dave went to go to the kid's profile page. Dave was blocked. So Dave sent it to me. I went to the profile page. I was blocked. Keegan goes to the kid's profile page. He was blocked. Why did all this happen, you wonder? Apparently, the UC didn't offer the kid. So that's an elaborate ruse, right? If you're going around blocking everybody, that's a wild deal. It's a wild deal. This life is so silly. That's the nightcap. We'll see you for the BBP tomorrow night. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!